All right. Hi, everyone. You can't see me. Okay. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight on another Design Memory Craft Alive show. We are going to do a little more of an artsy page than we did in the last show. And we're going to be working with gelatos and texture gems. And I'm going to show you, and pit pens, and I'm going to show you how you can create a resist using the texture gems and have some fun with those. So make sure if you have any questions, you can ask it in the chat and we'll get to those as quickly as we can. If not, you can ask me afterwards and we'll try to get the recording out as quickly as we can. The last show we'll get the recording out for that as well. So sorry about the delay on that. But let's go ahead and get started. Hi everybody, and we'll get going on this project, all right? So we have our lovely bird and our flowers, and in this project I used a few simple products, and that was another thing I wanted to share with you. Is you can definitely bring out your Design Memory Craft products and have a quick, easy layout with just a few products, or you can get a beautiful piece like this with a few products that looks like you've spent, a good amount of time on, but it's only going to take you, about an hour. So that is what I want to do today. And we're going to be using the gelatos. We're going to have, you can see more of a crayon effect look to it, a watercolor look. We're going to be coloring it in. So we're going to have a lot of fun with these. The texture gems, I'm going to show you how you can use them as a resist before we take our gelatos over the project and just have some fun with them, all right? So this is the original piece. I'm going to go ahead and close the book up. It's a little difficult to video with the journal, so we're going to go ahead and grab another piece of watercolor paper. Alrighty. I'm using a piece of Canson. It's a little bit smaller than the original, but same idea. Plus, you guys will get the idea. You can do it on any size paper. Oh, bring back into focus. Cameras don't like that white paper, I'm telling you. Come on. Oh, heavens to Betsy. Come on. Sorry, guys. Oh. Maybe. Are we not going to, let's see if it brings this brings it back. Sometimes the phone will bring it back. No. There we go. Nope. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Here we go. There. Okay. Sometimes the cameras don't like the really bright white paper, so we kind of have to keep something in the frame to keep it tamed. So we're going to just kind of keep a few things in the picture to keep them happy. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and start with our piece. So the texture gems are a fun, clear, lucent, transparent, dimensional pen. It's an ice liner, so you can draw with it. And this is the packaging. So if you're looking for it in the store, this is what you're going to look for. It dries clear. It has kind of a milky application, but it does dry clear, and it stays clear. So I really like this because you know exactly where you're putting it at. You can put it on all different surfaces. You can put it on metal and canvas. You can put it on non-porous or porous surfaces. So you can have a lot of fun using this for dimensional reasons. You can use it as a resist like we're going to be using it tonight. You can actually mix it if you wanted to, put it on your palette and mix it, and then spread it. You can mix and match with color if you'd like to. So there's a lot of different applications you can use with your texture gems. Now the texture gems also come in, let me grab the colors while I'm thinking about it. You can also get them in metallic colors as well. So we have a gold color and also a nice pearl and silver. So, and then there's a actual pearl. This is more of a white, and then this is like an iridescent color. So you definitely can get in different colors and have that texture finish also. But we are going to use the clear tonight. Oh my, we upset the camera again. Come on. Okay. My goodness. So testy. Don't know why it does that. And then it just does not like that. I don't know why. And the lighting too. But anyways, we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Let's smooth this light out just a little bit. There we go. Lighting's a little better. So the texture gems do take a little bit of time to dry, so keep that in mind. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and draw out whatever design you want to resist the mediums from. So if, say, you're going to want to do a flower or just doodle, anything that you want to go ahead and resist the other mediums with, you're going to go ahead and draw that onto the page. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw a flower, and I know it's going to be hard to see because, oh, this one has a stopper on it. Let me go ahead and find, I'm going to put my phone here so it doesn't upset the camera. I'm going to go ahead and find my open package. I just used it. Here it is. What's nice is when you get them from the store, there's a little stopper here, so you don't have to worry about it leaking everywhere. So when you get it, remember to take that little guy out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and leave him nice and fresh. Put him aside. I'm going to go ahead and use this one, okay? So I'm going to go and draw out just a little abstract floral design, and that's the fun part about this page, is it's very loose and free and abstract. It looks structured, but really it's not. You can see the lines on camera, thankfully, where I'm drawing. I'm not squeezing very hard on the pen. Very gently, just pulling, and I'm pulling away from the tip of the pen. That way I'm not going across my lines. Okay. My nail was for my online workshop I was doing, so I had to be a little themed about it. So, little red slipper. Okay, let's do that. And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. I'll do a few more. And I want to show you, okay, I'm going to do a little, how easy it is to doodle. And this is just going to be a play page because I did another one before the workshop started, so I gave it time to dry. We may have to dry it a little further, but I wanted to give it time to dry so we weren't sitting here with the heat gun quite as long. But kind of get the idea of kind of how you move around with the pen, how easy it is to draw with it. But I wanted to also kind of show you some of the other applications you can do with the texture gems. All right. So you can do the fun little dot applications. And they make such perfect little polka dots. Like the way they set up, it's perfect. You can do teeny tiny ones all the way to larger ones. And the way they set up are like pristine. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little bit so you can see those. Look at that. And I love that it keeps all of its shape. Let's bring the light back. There we go. And I love how it keeps all the shape and everything. Now I would let this dry, and once it's dry, what this will do is it'll harden and resist whatever mediums we're going to use over the top of it, which is really nice. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw, finish drawing the picture. What I would do is draw my picture, and I'm going to show you the finished piece. We may have to dry it. It's actually almost dry. Bring in our other page that I already started. Okay. So you can see it's harder to see now that it's dry, but we have our little surfaced our doodles. We have our flower, and I did a little doodle over here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start by creating a couple washes with our gelatos. I'm going to grab a nice light colored blue as well, just kind of an icy blue color to add just a pop of a contrasting color. So let's see, the colors I have that I'm using are bubblegum. I love that pink color. That's one of my favorites. I have squid ink black, and then I have Aqua Dolce? Yeah, Aqua Dolce. So those are the colors I'm going to be using. So what I'm going to do is I have some water here. I have a couple of paintbrushes. I have a mop brush and I have a wash brush. I may not be using the mop brush, but I grabbed it anyways. And I'm going to go ahead and take my bubble gum, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw across. Because I want some of the crayon look to stay. If I wanted it to kind of go away, oh, some of the my pen wasn't finished. I'm going to go ahead and it wasn't completely dry. I'm going to go ahead and hit this with the heat gun, and then I'm going to have to go back over it with my gelato. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead and heat this real quick. I thought I got it, but I must not have. That's okay. We're going to dry our texture gems. You want to make sure they're completely dry before you do this, because if they're not, they're going to spread just like I did with my gelato and make a mess. I touched one spot and didn't check the rest of it. At least you could see where my other lines are. Okay. Almost dry. And actually what will happen, and let me show you something. If it's tacky like this, and I'll show you, what'll happen is it'll do the opposite. It'll grab our colors more than if it was dry. So we'll have some that'll grab our color. Kind of mopping that around. I want some light spots and dark spots. I'm going to bring in some of this gray while it's wet so that it kind of moves a little bit easier. And I can buff that out with my finger. Kind of move it around a little bit. You can see where our texture gem is resisting our pen or our gelato. I'm going to add a little bit more pink in here within our flower. Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna wipe this off. I got some of the texture gem on here earlier and I don't want it to kind of gum up the lid. Here we go. Okay. Where did my other, oh, here it is. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of the black down towards the bottom. I'm going to spread that out a little bit. And once we get the bird and our other sketch designs in, we're going to go back in with our gelatos and kind of redefine some of that with a little bit more detail. And I'll show you how to do that with our brush and the gelatos. Now on the original I have a lot more white space, so keep that in mind. This is basically the same size as the original design, but we have more white space around the original. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and dry this, and then we'll come in and draw our bird. And once the bird's in and our lines are in, we can kind of have fun including some more color in highlighting our resisted designs in here. Okay. Now you can see where my texture gems were wet still, because it actually attached itself more to the gelatos. So it was still tacky. So the gelatos attached itself to the texture gems. This down here, I'll show you the difference in a second. Where the gelatos were completely, or where the texture gems were completely dry, the gelatos totally resisted away from the lines. Okay. Pretty dry. Alrighty. So I wanted to show you here Come on, focus. See how down here it completely resisted away from our lines. And then you have a couple spots where it was still wet, so the gelato's sucked into that texture. And then here, down here, perfect example where your medium's completely dry. It's going to act as the perfect resist for your project. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our fabulous pit pens, and we are going to get into some drawing. Now, if you feel more comfortable, you could definitely sketch this in pencil. Now, I suggest bringing in a water-soluble graphite, or you could use the brown or gray or black or gray watercolor pencil. Let's see, do I have one in here in my trusty little bucket? Let's see, do I have one in my bucket? See, I have a watercolor bucket, watercolor and color pencil bucket. And it kind of goes with me wherever I'm wandering. I have the water-soluble graphite here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sketch in my bird. And this little guy, he's going to have a little hooked nose, his little beak, I should say. He's going to come down here. And the bottom of their beak comes past the top of it. So we're going to come back here. We're going to come up. We're going to go through our resist because we kind of I cut myself short here, but that's okay. And then this is where you get to kind of have fun with it. You can kind of draw lines here, veins, or whatever you want to call it. As long as you have just the basic beak and eye structure of the bird. And I'll draw that in now with the pen. This one kind of looks more like a seagull than a crow. I think it's because I kind of cut myself short up at the top, but once you get the basic shape of the mouth, and the eye, you can kind of have fun with the rest of it because it doesn't really matter what other shapes you use because this is more of an abstract piece. And that's the fun part, is you don't have to be, you know, a perfect art major to create this look. So I'm going to finish this into our flower. I'm going to come up and draw our eye, and then I'm going to show you how I kind of connect all those lines. We're going more for like a different bird than the crow. Fill that in, and then we're going to do some of our, let's see, I know what I did. His beak or his head shape's wrong. That's okay. I'm making a different bird. And then we can doodle in here. Draw. Kind of the fun part about this is you're creating almost like grains in rock. That's kind of what I picture when I do this is like broken granite almost. And then I'm going to outline our flower here. Bring out some larger spots that we can come in and outline or line, doodle inside of. And the reason why I'm outlining it is just to kind of highlight the flower a little bit so it doesn't get completely lost. And it continues that design, the bold design of the bird, all the way across our page. Just by outlining the flower, that outline continues your line of sight all the way across. Okay. Let's see, what else are we going to do? Let's go ahead and outline the top of this one. And I'm just outlining the outside of the flower. I'm not going on the inside. Okay. And then I'm going to continue adding my little shapes down here. And I can add broken connecting shapes. And then I add the fillers where we can do more doodling. Okay. And just those little accents really kind of just change it. And I really like the kind of free flow of the page because you don't have to be so exact with it, but it does look like you were. It looks like you, I don't know how to explain it. It looks like you put, so much precise effort into the design of it when really a lot of it is doodling. You, with the pen, with your texture gems, you're doing this abstract flower design and the doodling in the background. What I did was I kind of filled in a few of our little openings that I doodled earlier between some of the texture gems just to kind of fill in some of the heaviness on this side over here to kind of even out the weight of the page. Okay. And then also what I did on the original was I took and I kind of added some swirls that flowed across the page, and it kind of peekabooed in through some of my watercolor. I'm going to turn this just a little bit so I get a better angle. I always pull when I'm doing line work. I try to pull my lines towards me. They end up nicer and neater when I pull my lines towards me. When I'm doing like hair work or anything like that, I try to pull those lines instead of push. So like these are getting a little messier because I'm not pulling them towards me. So I'm going to come over here and add another set. You're going to kind of cross over a little bit. And they kind of disappear behind our lighter watercolor work. And that's just another little element. And you can go as big or as little or abundant as you like with the line work. That gives you an idea of what I did. I kind of crossed some over. Go over here. so let's see. I need to bring this down here a little bit. Get a little neater. Okay, I'm a little short up here, but that's okay. Let's outline the rest of our flower over here. Do a little bit more doodling. And then we're going to add a little bit more color to add more contrast between our background and our foreground, so that our flowers pop a little bit more, our bird pops a little bit more. I'm going to write in a song. Just so I have some type of little, you know, journal to it. And you could, that would be really fun, is to write small little words throughout your piece and include them in your outlining. So just kind of include just small little handwritings in with your outline work, and kind of include it in the messiness of the doodling, and kind of hide them in a way. And make it look like it's part of the design. I think we need a little bit here. And I think that's probably good for the sketch work. Let's do some. All right. Okay. So now I'm going to bring in some more color. I'm going to bring in a smaller brush, and I'm just going to take first I'm going to bring my, I'm going to use a round brush. I'm going to bring my bubble gum. I'm going to wet brush. Pull that color directly off of the top of the, oh, I splattered it here, but that's okay. And I'm going to paint it right over the top of my pen work. The nice part about Pit pens is they're permanent ink, so you don't have to worry about bleeding any of your artwork. Now, the nice part about using the watercolors or the water-soluble graphite is I can make my lines disappear that I just created. Now, it may kind of muddy a little bit, but that's fine because it goes with the rest of my design on my background. Now, this is a little dull, so I'm going to come in directly with my gelato and spread that around now. This wasn't quite as bright as I was hoping. So I'm going to come in here, come down here, kind of fill in some of those doodled openings that we created earlier. And come in here and color in that opening, and then spread it out with my paintbrush. Yeah, and the Pit pens, with so many colors, you can definitely, you know, create a lot of different looks with them, and them being, you know, permanent, and, you know, there's a lot of different India ink and waterproof, and the light fastness is awesome. Those of you who journal and Bible journal and all of that should really look into them if you haven't already. And they come in different tip sizes, for hand lettering, and all the way from fine tip to brush tip. Totally awesome. I'm telling you. All right, so I'm going to come in here. I'm going to also add a little bit into some of these flower petals. And then we're going to bring in a little bit of the black. Ready? I love how soft the gelatos are because look at how easily these are moving with just a little bit onto the paper and a damp brush. Now I will say because I kind of already created a texture on the background from our previous layer of gelatos, it's helping them to move a little bit easier. Now because I'm not working on virgin paper like we were with the first layer, you'll notice that when you're working with them in your journals, you may notice that the virgin paper will kind of absorb them quicker than if we're working on another layer. But that's another fun part with them is you can build them on top of each other and on top of other mediums. All right, so let's bring in some black now. So we're going to bring in a little bit of black. Pop that back a little bit. And the black I'm going to bring right around the edges of the bird because I want that bird to pop a little bit more. And I'm going to bring the black right around the edge of the bird and right around the edge of this flower. Okay. I'm using the Canson watercolor paper pad. Just as a little reminder. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to break up this gelato a little bit. Once I have it broken up a little bit, I'm going to clean my brush. And then I'm going to soften that up. And blend it out. I just want kind of a little shadow. Between the bird and the background. Okay. Trail that down here. All right. And then a little bit underneath him too, on the bottom half. You can use just the edge of the gelato. Just lightly color that in. Curl it back up. And then I usually kind of move around in a circular formation. That kind of helps break it up. And it softens it without giving you really harsh lines. Sometimes when you're working with a watercolor pencil or any water-soluble type medium like this, sometimes the movement in which you're trying to kind of spread it out will affect how it blends. So I've noticed kind of blending it out in a circular motion kind of helps. Alrighty. There's our little guy. I can come in here now and add on top of my piece, I can add some more of our little texture gems if I wanted to. I can do my little dots. And what this will do is kind of magnify some of the watercolor that's underneath them. Now I would let this dry completely for overnight before I close my journal. That or let it dry for a few hours and then put a piece of butcher paper between your sheets of paper. That way the texture gems, because it is a tacky surface, has time to kind of fully cure. Alrighty. gives you an idea. So you can have two different looks. You can have one that will completely resist. Yes, it comes in a bottle, and the design, I've used some other type of mediums like this, but the way the application is helps so much with control. I like that the tube is longer, so when you're trying to draw with it, it gives you a lot more control. When you're trying to draw, it gives you, I mean, of course, it's more like a pen, so it's going to give you more control when you're drawing, and you get more, as well as the tip. The way that the tip's finished gives you a nice clean finish. So there is our lovely bird. I hope you guys enjoyed our artsy type class tonight. We'll be doing another show next month, and I'll get you guys a project soon for that. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask us on the video, and I can also answer them on my Facebook page as well. And we'll have the video up soon for you guys to rewatch it if you've missed it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much, and I will see you guys next time. If you guys recreate this page, please make sure to share it on our page and my page. I'd love to see them. We always enjoy seeing your guys' artwork using the Design Memory Craft product in Faber-Castell. So please share your work. We always love hearing from you. And we will see you guys next time. Have a good evening, good day, good morning, and bye.